So in this video, we're going to be talking about high power and DSP management. We're going to be talking about subwoofers, and we're going to be talking about placements. We're also going to be introducing you to this brand new subwoofer. This is the Harbinger VS18. It can do an awful lot for you, and the important part is it's reasonably priced so you can buy a lot of them, which is really the important thing. So in this video, we're also going to be talking about a new feature on the back of the unit called optimal speaker pairing. It makes life a lot simpler and a lot easier when it comes to use this subwoofer with not just their speakers, but with pretty much any speakers out there. Just unfolds the mysteries a bit, and it's all located on the back of the speaker. So we're also going to talk about how convenient it is to make this speaker mobile. And that's very important because this speaker also includes casters in the back. And for me, that's really important that when you get casters, you don't have to be picking up and schlepping that 100-pound subwoofer everywhere. And we're also going to talk about the inputs on the back of the unit. It does have ins and outs, and it's to maximize stereo use for their speaker. Because if you're using it for band or in a smaller setup and you are wanting to manage that stereo connectivity, they give you that all available in the back. So my name's Robin, you're watching Expert Island, and we're talking about the Harbinger VS18. So the very first thing we're going to talk about in this actual speaker is the actual grill cover, because it doesn't matter how good the box is, which is absolutely amazing, full plywood. So this way you're going to get lightweight, solid, reinforced box inside. But if we distort the sound as it comes out the front by having a poor thin grill or a grill without a diffuser built into it, those can be problems. All of these are rectified. 1.2 millimeters is what we have for a grill cover on the front. Vertical slotting, so this way it's give the grill as much reinforcement as possible. Also, we have that diffuser attached physically to the back of the grill, which is going to stop it from having any bad vibrations, a cob effect, resonating in the actual music as it plays. Screwed in properly across the bottom and the top. So in these nice ridges that are in the actual design are not just cosmetic. This is a very large surface to have to reinforce and stabilize. Having this actual rounded section in the middle coming inward and then having a nice angle on both sides, it's like a bridge. It gives it a lot of rigidity and a lot of stability at the same time through an actual engineered design. I mean, that's really nice, and that's part of the speaker. So in here we are coming around the corner of the speaker. Now they didn't just put in wooden handles in here. We've got full metal brackets to grab onto, making this speaker very safe and secure. Their screws are not just set into the actual wood. They are actually nuts and bolts that are actually connecting with fasteners internally. So this way it gives it a good proper squeeze on the material. So this way you can feel safe and confident that if your hand slips on one side, one handle will take all the weight of the subwoofer. It also has a pole mount setting on top for your actual speaker if you choose to do a vertical setup. Now here we are looking at the back, and we're still talking about design and engineering of the actual box here. We haven't even looked at the amp plate yet. Now on the back of the box, you're going to see that they put the wheels on the back. And I put the wheels on the bottom because I'm only moving around the space a lot. That's really what's going on here. The backside, though, if you're going to transport it in an actual vehicle, so you're throwing that in your van and you need to get it from show to show, you're going to want to lay the actual subwoofer on its back. And the reason why you do that is you want the driver to sit flat on top, so this way all the gravity is pushing straight down in the unit. Their units also come with locking brakes on it on all four wheels, so that's really important. Now getting back to the box, it has that textured actual spray on it. So it's not just a gritty sandpaper. It's got that full covered actual matte spray finish on top of it as well, giving it an easy, you're not going to get anything on yourself. It's not going to rub down or wear easily. It does take a hit, and you can always touch it up because it is plywood, of course, inside of here. Harbinger's also taking the time to place reinforcements on the inside of the box. So this way there is more material inset. So this way it can handle the weight load of stacking, transport, and also the actual operation of the speaker itself. It just makes the whole operation safer, and it's going to give you a much better effect from the box. If the box doesn't actually vibrate and distort, it's going to push more energy out the front, and that's where we want to keep it. So if you're looking for the products today, those links will be all down below. There's going to be including all our affiliate links, which are going to bring you to Musician Friend, Guitar Center, Winwood Brass Wind. It's also going to bring you to Music and Arts. These are all great places down below that you can get this unit. So regardless where you live, we probably have a link that's going to get you back to a store close to you. Now, if you do like buying online, by all means, use any of those, or you can use Musician Friend. They've got a great program and they're always in stock and they'll ship straight to your home. Right now, we're going to talk about some of the new features on here and how the whole thing works together. Now, the VS18 is RMS at 600 watts of power, which is 2400 watts peak, and that's a normal kind of separation between power. A lot of companies don't give you the RMS, they just give you the peak and they let you figure it out from there or try and figure it out. In their case, they've actually given you both numbers because they're a very professional company and they want to make sure that you feel comfortable with what you're buying. Now, one of the big new features is this one right here, which is the crossover frequency matching. It basically even gives you directions of 12 to 15 is going to be on this side here because you're going to have more bass performance in those types of speakers. So you're going to want to cut out less and manage more here. We can do that right here. And that's going to give me everything up on this half. And then there's a transition. So it goes from 70 hertz to 150 hertz as a crossover point. And then eventually it does give you reminders that if you're looking at 8 or 10 inch speakers, you're probably going to be on this side of the actual unit. That's going to be anywhere from your 115 to 150 crossover. So this way you're going to get more bass response out of the subwoofer. You're going to be moving up that bass level and you're also going to get better performance out of your tops that way because you're not going to stress out your tops as much. But all of that's done here for you and it's all clicked. It's not a gradient. It's a locked in frequency cut. You can feel it. It clicks along as it goes. And if you go to full range output, that's going to be the output of the system is going to be full range. It will set the actual crossover internally at 150. So remember to cover that one more time. Anytime we choose here, because I know this is a very popular question, if I make a choice of a 90 hertz crossover here, that means that it's going to cut 90 hertz out of the bottom here. So it's going to start at 91 hertz and higher coming as the output. So if I want to connect my tops and I want to make sure that I'm not going to get any of that extra bass in the tops and it's going to stay down here, that's the way I would do it. Plug my left-right input from my actual main unit in here. So my controller or mixer comes in here. Then I can plug my tops in here and I'll be able to take advantage of the actual crossover frequency. Now, if you don't plan on plugging anything up here, but you do want to take advantage of crossing over the subwoofer, you can still use that. But if you want to manage your tops, controller on the input side and your top speakers on the output side. And that is how the actual crossover frequency works. And remember, at any time, you can like, comment, and share what's going on here. Don't forget, there's always that. And hit that subscribe button. If you haven't yet, please do. Always looking for new subscribers. Like to have you on board. That would be really, really nice. Now, they also offer you time alignment delay, and they give you pretty straightforward instructions because they don't have any reference for distance in the actual instruction manual or on the unit. They're not telling you like 1 out of 10 and each number represents 2 feet or something like that. None of that's involved. If your actual tops are further away from the people in the audience, from your listeners, from the people coming to the presentation or show, those are the people in the audience in front, you're going to want to set this up. Now, this means if your speakers are too far up or further back or further away from the sub, because you've placed the sub in front of your stage, and your tops are to the left and right, roughly what's the distance? Now, how to set this, how to get this right, you're going to need an extra person or you're going to be doing a lot of walking back and forth and using memory to decide if it's right or not. Is if you're doing this on your own, you're going to want to take it from a listening test with nothing and then a listening test with a maximum. Then cut it in half and decide, am I making things better or worse? Then cut it in the direction. It's like the low-high pricing game. Cut it again in half. Am I making things better or worse? If not, I'm going to go the other way. And you're going to find a magical spot. Now, if you're not comfortable with that time delay, that's fine. Most of the time, if you're setting up in a bar or a hall and your speakers are close proximity to your subs, you're not going to have to be too concerned about that. It's really good if you're doing a long-term permanent setup. More importantly than the actual time delay when deciding where your speakers are, if they're in close proximity, I may decide if I have 2 subs to stack them together and put them to the left or right of the stage, or I may decide to just have them both side by side in front of the stage. To me, that makes more of an impact to the overall sound and performance in a small venue and a quick DJ setup versus having your actual time delay and then placing your subwoofers underneath your speakers. Now on top, we've got two more switches. Polarity is very nice. Now, again, this is going to help if you're trying to do some noise cancellation, you're trying to move more energy forward, you're trying to create a cardio pattern out of your speakers. You're going to want to get familiar with this. So if you want to get really heavy into this, that's a video all on its own. But for now, I'm going to say normally leave this in normal mode. I'm more likely to choose to have these subwoofers stacked off to the side. So I would leave this normal. You can definitely do some research on that, but it's better to have this option and not use it than not have it in the side. I bought myself now 4 subwoofers and I want to take advantage of this. It's here for you, and that's the important part. So on the back, you also get level controls, which are really nice because some mixers offer this. Some controls have this switch on the back so we can match and line it up. But if you're not familiar with it, or you don't have the switch anywhere else but on your subwoofer, well, pretty straightforward. If you have it in one setting, turn up the volume to about 25%, flick the switch, you'll find out you want to have the lower volume setting going into this. This is going to allow you to put more amp power into your actual driver and reduce the amount of times you're going to see that limit light come on. Last but not least, on the back, of course, we've got a USB input, which wasn't there before, and it's a 2.1 amp. So if you're using any wireless technology to actually run the speaker, so maybe you're putting in a UHF or a 2.4 system, so this way you don't have to have XLR cables everywhere, you can actually power it up continuously from the actual USB plug that's there. That's a real nice add-on because a lot of equipment today, people are buying the wireless options to get rid of those cables to make it easier to have your equipment set up wherever you want. Nice that they thought of that. So in today's sound test, we actually have a guest star here today. We've got ourselves a pair of Harbinger V3415s, which are their brand new 15-inch. You're going to get to hear them here first before we even review them. They're going to be part of this actual sound test, so you're going to get to hear a sneak peek of the actual V3415s. Awesome speaker. Now we're only going to be using the one VS18. We're not using our second sub down here. That's going to be off. We're just going to use this top unit. Nice and comfortable, up and high. Now you may have noticed that the microphone is off center over here. Now it's a ribbon microphone from Marantz. It's very good. I've used it many times. I enjoy it. But it's good at picking up bass response if it's directly in front of a subwoofer. So we can't have that today because that's too much. It's overwhelming. And it won't sound natural to the room itself. There's no EQing done here. All we did was reposition the microphone off to the side, did some gain controls, and that's pretty much it. No compressors, no limiters, nothing like that. Controlled the volume, have it there, no extra bass or treble, right off the hop, no worries. So there you go. That's what everything's going to be like. It's going to be hopefully awesome, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it. And there you go. That's the whole video. There's some options there for you to watch. Don't forget, you always have time to hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up before you leave this video. But hey, look at that right there. Boom. That's the next video. And right below it, that's the subscribe option. You've got both of them right there.